right, today we finna talk about an insane individual, a crazy man, if you will. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know why I didn't think about making a review on this movie, because one, is mad fire, two, it's crazy. Like, I had no idea what I was getting into. I mean, the name of it is American Psycho, so clearly the guy is a psycho. But I didn't know it was like this, bro. This dude cared more about the thickness of business cards than he cares about human life. Like, respectfully, relax, bro. This is American Psycho starring Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman, a Wall Street investment banker in the late 80s who was, and I cannot stress this enough, not okay. Grab your snacks, strap in, let's get into it. We open up in this expensive ass restaurant, bro. Waiters reading off some menu that sounds like it was written by a thesaurus. Swordfish, meatloaf, squid ravioli, arugula Caesar salad, well, a whole bunch of stuff that Dave Blunts wouldn't eat. My bad, where we at? And the whole time we hearing Bateman's inner voice narrating his own life like a documentary, bro. He's sitting at dinner with his boys, Timothy Price, Craig McDermott. First off, bro, this last name McDermott, bro. Kind of dumb. Last name is that. And David Van Patten. Oh my God, bro. These got the stupidest names. And it makes sense though, because this movie is a lot about Patrick Bateman, like envious of other men, like not, well, I don't know if envy is the right word, but like more so like just be thinking they better than him. At least he sees it like that. Which kind of sends him into a spiral. That's like the whole business card moment, but we'll get there anyways. That's like one of the most famous scenes, bro, in movies to me, bro. That's hilarious. All these guys is dressed though identical in these expensive ass suits, bro. Slick back hair, and it's hard to tell one of these dudes from the other, bro. But that's actually the whole point. This entire social circle is one interchangeable blob of rich white guy. Bateman's narration kicks in and he lets us know straight up that there is no real him underneath all this. That's a direct quote, by the way. He describes himself as literally not there, just an idea, an abstraction. Bro opens the movie by telling us he's hollow inside, and we're all just gonna nod and keep watching anyway. It's weird. Anyways, we get this whole modern routine next, and this is one of the most iconic sequences in this film, bro. Dude's skincare and workout regimen is more detailed than most people's entire personality, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. But he walks us through it like it's some sort of YouTube get ready with me channel, bro. This nigga talking about step by step with it. So he puts an ice pack under his eyes for a few minutes to reduce puffiness. Then he does a deep pore cleanser lotion, a water activated gel cleanser, and a honey almond body scrub. Then he does a herb mint facial mask, which he leaves on for 10 minutes while doing 1,000 stomach crunches. And then aftershave with the lowest alcohol content because it dries out your face, a moisturizer, an anti-aging eye balm, and finally a light coat of protection. But this dude got more of a disciplined ritual for his face than most monks have for their souls. And in the middle of all of that, completely deadpan, he tells us there is no real Patrick Bateman, only an entity, something illusory. Or really said, I'm a fraud of a human being, while applying an eye balm, bro. That's some next level main character narcissism right there, bro. Bro think he's self-aware, but really he think he the main character. So we already at the scene that most of us have been waiting for, man. This whole thing kicks off with Paul Owen strolling in the conference room, right? Congratulated by McDermott for landing the account called Fisher. And then someone asks him about his plans for Friday, and Owen just casually drops that he can't because he's already got an 8:30 reservation at a restaurant called Dorsha. And the entire room goes dead silent, not because of the account, because of the restaurant reservation. Price is legitimately whispering, Dorsha, on a Friday? How'd he swing that? Like this nigga just announced he split an atom. Like, bro, nobody care about you going to no fucking restaurant. But right after that, still stinging from the reservation flex, Bateman pulls out his own new business card to change the subject. And everybody's actually kind of impressed. Bone colored, lettering called Silly and Rail. Then Van Patten pulls his own card out just to one-up him. An eggshell with Romalian type. And the table shifts their allegiance instantly, bro. Then Price pulls his out. Raised lettering, pale Nimbus white, and Bateman's internally seething that Price would prefer McDermott's card over his. And then the final blow. Somebody pulls out Paul Owen's card, bro. And it's got this subtle off-white coloring and a watermark. And the sound design in this scene straight up drops out to nothing except Bateman's own heartbeat pounding, bro. He stares at this card like it personally violated him. Like this card did something dirty to him in prison. Like, bro, can you calm down? Bro, his hands is shaking, knees weak, arms is heavy, vomit on his suit already. All right, my fault. Lewis straight up points it out though, mid-scene, bro. This man's entire ego collapsed over a shade of eggshell white and a watermark. This is one of the funniest yet saddest things I've ever seen, my nigga. But when they're mad about some business cards, like if you don't calm down to go get some hot shit, this is also where we get introduced to the whole Paul Owens dynamic. Everybody at this firm keeps mixing people up because they all look and dress the same. So half the office thinks Bateman is a guy named Marcus Halberstrom. Bro, I never know how to pronounce these names, bro. Halberstrom. And no one straight up calls Bateman Halberstrom the whole movie without ever once being corrected. And Bateman lets it happen every time because apparently that's less embarrassing than explaining who he actually is. The whole movie is about a man whose identity is so interchangeable that people call him the wrong name to his face and he just goes with it. The obsession with status also shows up in the funniest possible way later. Well, Bateman needs an excuse to dip out of a meeting with a private detective and casually says that he has a lunch meeting with Cliff Huxtable, the fictional dad from the Cosby Show. Like, come on, bro. You about to go meet with Bill Cosby? All right, anyways, this thing is at the Four Seasons, bro. Completely straight face. Like, it's a normal thing that a Wall Street banker would say out loud to a man investigating a disappearance. Nobody in the universe questions anything as long as it's said with enough confidence and the right restaurant name is attached. Niggas talking about, man, we're going to the Four Seasons. Hey, man, I just wanted to ask about a disappearance. It's like, there's somebody missing we looking for, and you kind of matched the description, nigga. Like, what's going on with you guys?
Oh, sorry. I'm actually going to go meet Bill Cosby later.
Somebody that. Now, Bateman's got a fiance named Evelyn who is exactly as vapid and self-obsessed as he is, which honestly makes them perfect for each other in the worst way. He's also secretly seeing Courtney, who happens to be dating his friend Lewis. Nobody in this movie is loyal to anybody, bro. Everybody's cheating and lying, and nobody really cares because they're all too busy being obsessed with restaurant reservations and hors d'oeuvres. There's also the scene at the Yale Club where Bateman and his friends are debating whether women can have good personalities, and it devolves into all of them agreeing in unison that no woman can have a good personality. It's honestly one of the most quietly disturbing conversations in the film because none of them even blanket how insane that is to say out loud. Then completely out of nowhere, Bateman brings up Ed Gein, an actual real-life serial killer, and quotes him directly, saying that Gein saw a pretty girl walking down the street and half of him wanted to treat her nice, but the other half wondered what her head would look like on a stick. What the f? Yo, niggas ain't here casually discussing serial killers, bro. Like, if y'all don't get y'all Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy at, you're like, come on, bro, calm down with that weird shit.
Yeah, I just wonder, what her head would look like on a stick. Like a shish kebab. A kebab.
All right, my fault. And they just laugh it off, bro. Like it's a weird joke. The same way that everybody in this movie laughs off every single red flag this man throws directly at him. Anyways, right after that, we get one of the most bizarre scenes in the whole film. Bateman follows a coworker named Louis Caruthers. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. They last names be stupid. Anyways, he follows him into the men's room, fully intending to strangle him to death. Hands wrapped around his neck from behind. But Louis, completely misreading the situation, turns around thinking this is a romantic advance, and he starts confessing that he's been in love with Bateman for ages. But Bateman just stands there frozen, hands still half raised. Shit completely thrown off his murder attempt by an accidental confession of love. He eventually just bails, mumbling something about having to return some videotapes and storms out. This is peak American Psycho, bro. Even this man's attempted murder keeps getting derailed by how absurd everyone is around him. And then we get the scene where Bateman walks. Yo, real quick. You know when I say real quick, I got another banger. And today we're here to talk about something spectacular. I got another commentary video over on the Sensei Speaks channel. Now, some of y'all are subscribed to it. You probably forgot about it, but you should go, subscribe to it if you're not, and watch this video here that's in the eye or the pinned comment in the description. It's a video on creepy kid movies. I'm doing commentary videos kind of like Derek FDB, Degenerosity, etc. Degenerosity, the homie. Anyways, go over there and check it out. After you finish this though, chill. Finish this video first, then go over there. All right, bye. Bro, even this man's attempted murder keeps getting derailed by how absurd everyone is around him. And then we get the scene where Bateman walks past an actual homeless man on the street, an older black man named Al, sitting there with his dog, visibly freezing and starving. And instead of just ignoring him like a normal rich jerk, bro stops and introduces himself and offers him money. And then he starts mocking him, asking why he doesn't just get a job, calling him a broken record, telling him flat out that he smells bad while pretending to comfort him. It's not curiosity, bro. It's pure contempt. Bateman's toying with this man's desperation for sport, dangling help right in front of him just to snatch it away, and then completely mid-sentence, he pulls a knife and he stabs this. And it doesn't just stop there, bro. This man dog starts barking and Bateman stomps it to death. Then he tosses a quarter on the ground and tells the dying man to go buy some gum. This is the first real crack in the movie where a murder actually lands and sticks. We see this man isn't just vain and shallow, he's an actual predator who gets off on cruelty toward anyone he sees beneath him. This is actually disgusted by this homeless guy, so he murders him. Like, can somebody stop this, bro?
Hey, here, Sonny, can I have a couple dollars?
For a couple dollars? Hey, stop fucking me, broke ass, bum ass bitch.
Damn, I just needed a couple dollars. Like, you ain't gotta do me like that.
Hey, shut your whole ass up. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. Hey, what's that right there?
What you talking about? Oh my God. You just fucking damn me, God.
Now, Bateman's obsession with Paul Owen keeps escalating at this point, and it's not really about any one simple thing. It's the business card, it's the Dorset reservation, it's getting mistaken for a lesser guy while Owen gets treated like royalty. And on top of all of that, Owen apparently landed this huge account with a client called Fisher that Bateman is convinced should have been his. All of it stacks on top of each other until this one rival banker takes up more real estate in Bateman's head than his own fiance does. We get this dinner scene at a restaurant called Texarkana. Bro, these names are stupid as shit, boy. I ain't gonna lie. Anyways, Bateman shows up late and bro, this is important. So he checks in under the name Marcus Halbertstam without even flinching, fully committing to being mistaken for somebody else this entire meal. He's meeting Paul Owen, who complains the whole time that they should have gone to a restaurant called Dorset instead. He names drops it constantly like it's the one place in Manhattan he actually respects. And Bateman shoots that down, talking about, man, nobody go there anymore, cuz. Now, you know damn well everybody in the city going to Dorset, boy. I'm just saying, well, I don't really know. Keep it 1,000. But hey, man, Paul Owen go there, so I guess you feel me? All right, I'm just saying. But he said that shit with pure ego, pure one-upmanship over a dinner reservation. Then mid-meal, Bateman casually tells Owen, yo, you know I like to dissect girls. You know I'm utterly insane? Straight to his face, bro, and Owen, who's already drunk out his mind, just laughs it off like it's a joke. This man is telling people what he is out loud at dinner, and the response is a chuckle and a request for another martini. Owen then goes on to insult Bateman directly without realizing who he's talking to, calling that loser Patrick Bateman a total dork, not knowing he's sitting across from the actual Patrick Bateman the entire time. Bro's ego is so fragile that this insult, delivered to his face without Owen even knowing, might be the actual final straw that gets Owen killed later in the film. Anyways, Evelyn throws a big Christmas party and it's the same energy the whole movie's been building. A shallow, small talk, people not listening to each other, everybody performing wealth at each other instead of connecting, and Bateman just floats through this world completely numb to all of it. And you can feel that numbness slowly curdling into something worse. Alright, so this is the scene, right? Tabin invites Paul Owen back to his apartment under the pretense of talking about business, gets him a little drunk, puts on a Huey Lewis in the news record, and mid-conversation completely unprompted, Cardi B. Alright, my fault, bro. I seen Get Him Drunk and music playing, my bad. But Bateman starts giving this whole passionate lecture about Huey Lewis and the news discography, and he's breaking down the meaning of hip to be square and like it's some college thesis. Nobody trying to hear this. All while putting on this raincoat behind Paul's back so he doesn't get blood on his suit. This man planned his outfit for the body? Damn. Dressed like Curious George to catch a body is crazy. Mid-sentence, Bateman just buries and acts straight into Paul Owen's chest and face, bro. Blood is everywhere, splattering across his apartment, bro. Look like a murder scene. Like two on a period got fighting with their coot. All right, that was crazy. And Bateman just standing there, catches his breath like he just finished a light jog. This is one of the most quoted scenes in the movie, bro, for good reason. The sheer calm on this man's face while doing something this unhinged, and this is too crazy. Anyways, after the murder, Bateman wraps Owen's body up in a sheet and drags it out the building in broad daylight past his own doorman like it's a rolled up rug. Rolled up like a backwood, bro, and dumped him somewhere. Then he goes to Owen's actual apartment and packs some of his clothes into a suitcase like Owen's about to leave town. And he records his fake message on Owen's answering machine, doing an impression of his voice, saying he's been called away to London for a few days. Man committed a whole murder and immediately became a method actor to cover his tracks, bro. This nigga is different. I'm telling you, bro, they be on that first 48. Anyways, before Kimball even shows up though, we get one of the funniest scenes in the whole movie, right? Kimball's that detective, by the way. So Bateman is at a dry cleaner trying to get his bloodstained sheets clean, right? Going full unhinged on this poor woman behind the counter who doesn't even speak much English, threatening to kill her under his breath while simultaneously insisting these are very expensive sheets that he can only get in Santa Fe. Then he gets his random acquaintance named Victoria. She walks in and catches him mid-meltdown and points at the blood-soaked sheets, and Bateman, without missing a beat, tells her it's cranberry juice. Bro, obviously she not buying that, bro. That's not cran apple, my nigga. But when she doesn't buy it, he doubles down and says it's actually chocolate syrup. Like a Dove bar, like Hershey syrup? Fun with chocolate? Like, come on, bro. What you talking about? Bro, hell no. And she just believes him and moves on with her day. This entire exchange happens in broad daylight, though, in a public dry cleaner, and nobody even bats an eye at it. That's the whole thesis of this movie right here, man. This man could confess anything in public, in front of anybody. The world's simply too self-absorbed to give a fuck. Now here's where the tension actually starts building, though. A private investigator named Donald Kimball, I'ma say Kimball, but I ain't gonna lie, bro. These names they be naming. Anyways, he shows up at Bateman's office because Owen's family hired him to look into the disappearance, and this scene is a masterclass in tension. I'm talking about Kimball's asking totally normal questions. Bateman sweating, stuttering, popping pills like candy, and pretending to be on a fake phone call to try to seem busy and important. Kimball straight up asks if Bateman's okay, and he goes, man, what you mean? Why you ask? Like I'm cool, cuz. I'm just saying though, like you seem kind of like out of it. Like you good, my nigga? Kind of tripping. This man is talking like he ain't never once been asked questions and doesn't even know how to respond to them. So Bateman starts describing Owen in this vague, detached way. I don't know, yeah, the brown part of the whole Yale thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know much about the nigga for real. Like I did kill him. I mean, my fault. I did chill with him, you know what I'm saying? Now, Kimball, meanwhile, is just doing his job, calmly taking notes, mentioning there's an answering machine message saying Owen went to London, and Bateman just go, well, maybe he did. Shit, I don't know, man, went to London. He fought with Harry Potter, cuz. Like he ain't the one who faked the message himself. Now, the detective brings up this completely unrelated news story about a stockbroker who got arrested for murdering a girl doing voodoo rituals. Just as a random aside, and Bateman gets to tweaking, bro. This man is barely holding it together, but somehow he still gets away. Like, what the f? Anyways, Kimball follows up with Bateman one more time over lunch, and this scene is honestly one of the best in the whole film. He's kind of relaxed now, casually roasting Bateman for not ordering the restaurant's famous hash browns. And then he drops a real update. Man, I ain't gonna lie, Paul Owen's date book says he had dinner the night he disappeared with Marcus Halberstam. Now, Bateman starts panicking internally, but you know what I mean, he's like, did y'all question Marcus? Yeah, we did. Marcus denies it, but also has a rock solid alibi. And this is the part that had me tripping, bro, because the real Marcus Halberstam's alibi for that night is that he was out at the club with a group of guys that include Bateman himself. So the mistaken identity that's been a running joke this entire movie just accidentally clears Bateman as a suspect because the investigation is chasing the wrong guy with the same haircut and the same suit. Bro, Kimball straight up says the idea that one of Owen's friends could have killed him for no reason whatsoever would be too ridiculous to believe. He's sitting directly across from the actual killer and dismisses the idea as absurd purely because Bateman looks and dresses exactly like everyone else in this same social circle. Then McDermott strolls by, jokingly warns Kimball not to believe anything Bateman says, and then he just wanders off. This whole investigation gets derailed by the fact that literally none of these men are distinguishable from one another, bro. Like, which is one of the entire points of the movie's been building since the business card scene. Like, all of these niggas are douchebags, bro, basically. Like, anyways, after getting away with the Kimball interview, Bateman murders start escalating out of control, bro. He brings two escorts back to his apartment, Christy and Sabrina. But one of the most disturbing sequences in the film, bro, this dude got mirrors set up so we can watch himself kill niggas. Bro, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You know Patrick Bateman, bro. I be catching body, cuz. You thought I was gonna catch a body and I ain't had mirrors to watch as I kill him, nigga? Bro, the entire time he's treating this whole encounter like a performance, bro, or an audience of one. This nigga's freaky as hell. It's clear at this point that even sex for this man isn't about connection with another person. It's about watching himself exist. Later, we get one of the infamous scenes in this movie with a chainsaw, bro. Bateman starts chasing one of these women down a stairwell. Like, if you don't calm down, this nigga completely naked except sneakers and a chainsaw. Out of here, Leatherface, like, relax. So then he drops a chainsaw from several floors up directly on top of her. The sheer absurdity of a naked man running down a stairway with a chainsaw is crazy as fuck. It's horrifying, but also probably one of the most memorable images in this entire movie. Hey, yo, pause on that. There's also this deeply unsettling quiet scene with the secretary Jean, who's clearly been in love with him this whole movie and finally comes over to his apartment for dinner, completely unaware that there's a literal severed head sitting in his freezer 2 feet away. She's in here eating sorbet, bro, and it's a head in the freezer. So Bateman opens up a cupboard full of these neatly organized weapons, an axe, a chainsaw, duct tape, a nail gun. Like, yo, this nigga, you work at Lowe's? While he's casually asking her if she feels fulfilled in her life, loading nails into the gun the entire time. He walks up behind the couch, points a nail gun straight at the back of her head, fully about to kill this bitch, who's done nothing but care about him the whole film. And the only thing that saves her is his own fiance Evelyn calling and leaving an embarrassing voicemail at the same time. So Bateman hides the gun, sits down, and just lets Gene sit there in awkward silence, listening to his fiance's message instead. That's as close as anybody in this whole movie gets to catching him. It's pure accident. His murders start becoming less calculated and more chaotic though after this. Before that though, we get this small quiet moment at a video store that says everything about how far gone this nigga is. He's wandering the aisles listening to Christopher Cross on his Walkman, having a full anxiety attack because there's too many movies to choose from. Popping pills, bro. In the middle of the store, bro, you putting perks in your mouth to pick movies? Perks to pick the movies, bro? I'm just saying, bro, that's different. Bro out here popping pills to cope is crazy. This nigga is out of pocket. After that, the ATM machine cat lady gets killed completely at random on the street. Middle of the day, no plan at all. Like, come on, man. This single act sets off a chase sequence so over the top, it barely feels like it's happening, bro. Like, what the fuck is this movie at this point? Bateman running through the streets of New York shooting at cop cars, blowing up a police vehicle with a single pistol shot. What the fuck is this, Grand Theft Auto? He got explosive rounds? Bro, he gunned down a security guard, a janitor, just because they happened to see him. It's really one of the most debated scenes in the movie because this shit feel like a fever dream. Like, did that even really happen? Anyways, it's exaggerated, it's hella cartoonish, like almost too clean to get away from a guy who can barely keep his own story straight, but you know, whatever. The movie never tells us whether we're watching something that actually happened or watching Bateman's own head running away with itself, but you know. Anyways, Bateman ends up hiding out in his own office, watching what looks like a SWAT team swarm the building next door, genuinely thinking his life is over. And in this moment of pure panic, he crouched behind his own desk with a helicopter spotlight sweeping across the window. He calls his lawyer Harold and leaves this unhinged ass voicemail. Straight up claims to have done everything, killed Paul Owen with an axe, and in his own word, leaving a body dissolving in a bathtub in Hell's Kitchen, killing escorts, killing homeless people, killing his own ex-girlfriend with a nail gun, cutting a woman with a chainsaw, even casually mentioning that he's eating some of his victims' brains, bro. All in this exhausted, defeated, monotone ass voice, like he reading a grocery list. Bro guesses like he's killed 20 people, maybe 40? God, 40 is a crazy joke. What you, King Von? Like, he genuinely lost count of his own murders, bro. Now, the movie never actually confirms any of this is true or really happened to any of these bodies. The entire voicemail is just Bateman's own account of himself, and by this point in the film, you generally cannot tell if you're hearing a confession or a breakdown. He tells his lawyer he might show up at Harry's bar the next day, basically surrendering himself, fully expecting to get arrested or worse. Before any of that plays out, Bateman goes back to Paul Owen's apartment building, expecting to find it exactly how he left it. Instead, the doorman lets him up and finds the whole place spotless, freshly painted, completely redecorated in a whole different style. Staged with flowers everywhere, and actual real estate agent named Miss Wolf showing it to a young couple like nothing ever happened there. Bateman wanders down the hallway and opens a closet where he specifically remembers leaving bodies, and it's just empty, clean, nothing. When he asks Miss Wolf about Paul Owen, she flatly tells him Owen doesn't live there. There was no ad, and she wants him to leave and never come back. Bateman is visibly shaken through the whole exchange. This scene is one of the biggest clues in the entire film for how unreliable everything we've watched might actually be. Either this woman is covering something up, or the apartment genuinely was never a crime scene at all. Bateman's own memory of committing these murders doesn't match up with reality, and some way the movie refuses to explain it. It's deliberately left hanging. And this is where the movie completely flips the script on us, bro. Bateman actually runs into his lawyer Harold at a bar not long after and brings up the confession voicemail directly, and there's the detail that breaks the whole movie. Harold has been calling him Davis this entire conversation, not Patrick, not Bateman. He genuinely thinks the confession was a joke. Some other guy named Davis played on him. Harold laughs it off and says the message was hilarious, but adds that Bateman himself is way too much of a spineless dork to have pulled something that elaborate. And when Bateman, panicking, insists that he really is Patrick Bateman and he really did kill Paul Owen, Harold delivers the line that ends this whole film's credibility, bro. He says that simply is not possible because he had dinner with Paul Owen twice in London just 10 days ago. So now we genuinely don't know what the movie wants us to not know and whether any of this actually happened. Did Bateman really kill all these people? Was Paul Owen actually alive in London the whole time? Like, did this entire city just not care enough to notice or investigate? Or has this man completely lost grip on reality to the point that his fantasies and his real life have fully merged into one? Even his own lawyer can't keep his identity straight. The movie kind of refuses to give us a clear answer, but I feel like trying to pin down one single interpretation kind of misses the point of what it's doing, man. Now, Bateman closes the film sitting alone at the bar, narrating one final time, saying that flat out that the confession changed nothing. There was no catharsis in admitting any of it, no deeper understanding gained, and camera pans up behind him to a sign on the wall that just reads, "This is not an exit." And that's it. Well, I ain't gonna lie, bro. A lot of people talk about this shit, and I really don't understand, bro, what the is even going on with American Psycho at this point, bro. Like, I still don't know to this day, like, what's real, what's not real. This one of those freaky ass movies though, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, cause you just think the whole time that you watching some shit, then everything gets flipped over. Like, reminds me of like The Sixth Sense or like Shutter Island. Like, what's real, what's not real, who's there, who isn't. Freaky ass movie, boy.